first
He can
play
go all the way if he gets back in.
It's a big return all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Listen, welcome in, everybody. It's August 26th, Friday, the first game of the Elk Grove Grenadiers season 2022. And if anything, that play hopefully sets a tone for the entire season.
Daryl Hunt on the kick return all the way to the 5-yard line. We welcome you in from the hustle and bustle of Elk Grove Village. I'm Gabe Newman alongside John Walls. John, what a start to this game.
Unbelievable. It's nice, a really good start against the Maine West team. We've seen Maine West in a lot of non-conferences over the years, so we'll see if we can keep playing them well.
That was Daryl Hunt on the kick return, who is expected to get plenty of snaps in the backfield for the Grenadiers offense.
Green and gold looks good out there again, doesn't it?
It sure does. So here's Mitch Janzik, the senior quarterback, with Jacob Elsner in the backfield. And a first and goal from the 5-yard line. High snap, handoff to Elsner. He powers forward for a couple yards.
Close.
Short of the goal line.
Started at the 5. It looked, well, we're on an angle, but it looked like he's down to at least the 1. I don't know that you go to any different play after gaining 4.
Definitely not. Quick no huddle for the Grenadiers. Elsner back in the field again.
Maybe Janzik just takes it between the guards.
Maybe a read option coming up. Also, you have Lucas Rogers one-on-one on the near side. Here's Janzik, finds the seam, and he's in for the touchdown. 1 minute into this game, and the Elk Grove Grenadiers have their first points of 2022.
That's at the 11:06 mark. That's less than a minute. We'll take that opening every single game here.
54 seconds have elapsed, and the Grenadiers have a lead.
Yeah, nice to come out like that. Man. Looks like the Grens have kind of a senior-laden team, sprinkled in a couple sophomores, but mostly seniors, some juniors as well.
Electric crowd for the first home game of the season.
And got a flag on that, Gabe.
Prior to the kick, it's going to be a false start.
Yeah, so Garrett's going to have to come back, what, 5 yards?
Last year we opened the season against Maine West, these same Maine West Warriors, and defeated them 36-14 in Des Plaines, moved the ball with ease, totaled 271 yards, 128 through the air and 143 on the ground.
Yeah, that was over before it began. Hopefully for the Grens it stays that way on this one too.
That game was highlighted by 3 Dominic Belmonte rushing touchdowns as Garrett Ewan puts the PAT through, and the Grenadiers have a 7-point lead before most of the fans have even sat down.
And Belmonte comes back this year. I believe he's a senior, right?
He's a junior.
Junior. So looking at the roster and some of the names, it looks like they have kind of a treasure trove of running backs, no? Between Elsner, Belmonte, right?
Yep. I talked with Coach Osei earlier in the week, head coach Miles Osei. He said it's not going to be a running back committee just yet, and he's going with Jacob Elsner and Daryl Hunt first. Expect to see guys like Dominic Belmonte out wide.
All right, let's put together a stop. Don't let any momentum get away. Gabe, I was so happy to hear you were doing the game with me and Elk Grove TV. You do a wonderful job. Actually, one of the people in the audience came up to me and said you had a podcast that dropped today.
Yeah, I released first episode of the Grenadiers Sidelines podcast. You can find it on the EGHS Media Twitter or on Spotify. Yeah, I highlighted the previewed, I should say, the football season ahead, and I hope to do a lot more in the coming weeks. It's going to be a weekly podcast, and it'll be nice to see just how good it gets as Warriors going to return this.
Good coverage by the Grenadiers. Little late action might be on both teams. I don't see a flag.
So here,
Gabe, those the gentlemen that talked to me about it, they'd all listened to it, and they're grumpy old men. Believe me, I know them. They were super impressed with it.
really?
Yes, they were telling a lot of the other parents in the youth football program. So we're going to get you as many listeners as we can.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. It's been a dream of mine. I grew up listening to sports talk radio, so it's been definitely something in the works for a while. Here is the Warriors offense, quick out and out of bounds after a gain of 5 or 6.
Kind of strange on that play. There's three backs on the wide receiver. All three were giving up yardage. They had so many, they had basically triple coverage if one or two of them just jump the route.
Looks like it's going to be Michael Petrenko in the backfield for the Warriors, and handoff to Isaac Pittman, and that gets stuffed. Not sure that was Pittman, actually. He is the main story of this Maine West offense. But the Grenadiers stopped him pretty well in the game last year. The defense had 3 takeaways, and included a Joey Cavaliers pick 6.
Yeah, last year I believe I was even at that game as watching one of my friend's sons. The Grenadiers had all the packages against Maine West last year.
Here's a draw by Petrenko, and it's going to go for a first down. Gets enough yardage, and so chains move for the Warriors. Yeah, I have to say it's a real honor to get back in the booth. I really missed it over the spring and summer, and definitely can't wait to do more games in the future.
Well, I got to be honest, I love football, but basketball is it for me, so we'll get you in there for the basketball games.
Oh, here's a jet sweep, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Adam Obiabid is absolutely shut down in the backfield.
Great read by Elk Grove there. 2nd and 18.
That was Dominic Belmonte, the safety, in to make the stop.
You know, I was looking at the roster before the game started up, and I'm seeing some familiar names. I highlighted them, and Dominic was definitely one of them. I remember calling his name quite a bit last year.
On 2nd and long for the Warriors. It's going to be a pass just out of reach of Isaac Pittman.
Nice design play by Maine West. So they take their wide out and they sweep through the middle to bring both the corner into safety with them. And he bumps out probably from the tight end position. That play was open for a chunk of yards.
Luckily, Isaac Pittman could not hold on to it, luckily for the Grenadiers. And so Maine West has to dial up a play on 3rd and long. With 9.
Obviously, you want to stop the first down, but if you can keep from a big chunk, helps even more.
It's going to be Pittman in the backfield, and Ben Cooper motioning. It's another pass, under pressure, flag is out.
We got a holding.
And it's going to be Thomas Delaney who gets taken down for the sack.
I'd be interested to see if Coach takes it. I mean, why not, right? You're still 3rd down, and now you're 28 instead of 18.
It is a holding, and they decline it, so they bring up 4th down.
Okay.
And the punt team will come out for the Warriors. Lucas Rogers back deep for the Grenadiers.
I'm looking for Lucas and Mitch Janzik to have some pretty decent years here. They're both really solid athletes.
Lucas a junior, Mitch Janzik, the quarterback, a senior. And head coach Miles Osei said that Mitch Janzik's competitiveness can sometimes get in the way. And that's muffed by Rogers. Luckily, it goes out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Grenadiers.
That might
Big
be
break.
That might be opening night jitters. I don't know that Lucas would try to grab that again. I think he'd just let it bounce. They're definitely kicking away from him because Lucas was in the middle, and that was clearly to the left sideline, the far sideline.
So So here come the Grenadiers offense for the second time. First proper drive after the long kick return to open the game. And just that quote about Janzik from Osei, he said, "I think Mitch is the ultimate competitor, and sometimes that can be his downfall." And he went on to say, he wants to win one of the worst ways I've seen a kid want to win.
Mitch is a heck of an athlete. Really good at baseball. For years, he played shortstop as a lefty, and that tells you how good athletics he is if a coach is willing to do that.
On first down, the Grenadiers fake the handoff. Janzik under some pressure, scrambles up the middle and gets about 5.
Good chunk there. Quarterback draw, it's a sign play. I think if you have success with that, you keep going, and by the second half, maybe even late second quarter, it'll open up the passing lanes.
Late substitution for the Grens on 2nd and 5, maybe 4.5.
Yeah, Christian Tijuani, it looked like he had a uniform malfunction or helmet function. He came off a play, fixed it, and back on.
Janzik this time in shotgun. Hands it off to Elsner, who gets up to the 50, good enough for a Grens first down. I thought for a second he pulled back.
Mitchell kind of telegraphed that. Either that or he was confused on a snap count. He was leaning forward while the ball was in the air. I think he tried to get it into Elsner's belly a little too early.
First and 10 at the 50. Be Janzik to throw. That's
Wide
complete. Wide open is Lucas Rogers for a gain of 8.
Yeah, those two are going to have what I think will be a pretty decent season this year. Mitchell plays varsity baseball. Lucas, I'm sure, will be trying out for basketball. He's really, really good basketball player.
Rogers is a three-sport athlete. Second and 4 for the Grens. As they continue to march the ball, they hand it off to Elsner again, and that's going to be first down yardage.
Listen, we talk about the running backs and quarterbacks a lot, but if you ask me, Grens' offensive line is knocking Maine West off 2-3 yards. It's huge holes, and even when there's not a huge hole, Elsner seems to be finding anything.
And that was a big problem for the Grens last year, their offensive line. Seems, so far at least, that they have made some improvements. Janzik back to pass. Ooh. Under pressure, ball is tipped. And let's see what they rule it. They rule it an incomplete pass. Janzik had more time than he did.
Jeremiah Pickett's on the near end here. Offensive line. He gets off the ball so fast. I'm going to watch him for a couple plays. He's as fast, he could probably be a running back from what I've seen so far. Big kid.
We got Wildcat now. No, I just saw that wrong. Janzik is still out there. Didn't see him at first. High snap over the head of Janzik. He picks up,
there you go.
Falls on it. And that's a big loss for the Grens. It's going to bring up 3rd and a lot.
So that's just the small things. That'll drive a coaching staff nuts. They'll clean it up. But you just can't have that when you're at midfield.
It's going to be 3rd and 25. The Grens want to go quickly. Probably want to run the same play they ran last time.
Yeah, nobody knows what it is.
Third down, a low snap. Janzik salvages it, throws deep. 4 contested for Garrett Ewan, and it's broken up by Maxime Makoa, the sophomore.
Got a roughing the passer here, Gabe.
That's a big break.
Yeah, the flag's on the yellow line, but it is a flag.
Yeah, I didn't see it because it was on the yellow EG. Or no, yeah, I see. It's right by the X.
It was a bit of a later call because I think we both were fouling the ball towards Garrett, but looks like they got Mitch a little late.
And you talked about things that'll drive the coaching staff nuts.
So this next snap is going to be an important snap unless he takes him under center, because one high, one low, you just got to settle down and make sure you got it.
So the stick did not update immediately, but it is an automatic first down. They hand it off to Elsner, and he's wrestled down by Makota for a good gain of 5.
I wish we had availability to the stats from the Elk Grove High School up there. Elsner's got to have 30 yards already.
Got live stats would definitely help. Of course, when you mention stats and Elk Grove running backs, you have to think 2019, that 422-yard performance by Ian Ridge.
Yep. 7 touchdowns, was it not?
7 touchdowns. Another bad snap. Janzik salvages it, and he's wrestled down. Almost got back to the line of scrimmage, and this is something that the Grens have to figure out fast.
Yeah, you got all the momentum with the first score. You got the stop, and basically 3 downs. Got to keep that ball moving. The quick solution is to put Mitch under center, but I don't know if they have practiced that or whatever call it.
3rd and 6, big down here. Good snap. Janzik under pressure, sees some space, runs for it. He's got room out to the far sideline, and he's down after a gain of about 10, and it's good enough for a Grenadiers first down. Good decision by Mitch.
Yeah, Maine West was loaded on the near side here. Not many people were open, and it didn't take Mitch to find out that the whole right end was open. Good run.
Just under 4 minutes left, still 7-0, Grens with the ball. Here's Janzik, hands off to Elsner, who's got some space, and he's wrestled down to the 12-yard line.
I'm super impressed with Jeremiah Pickett. When you see him on the TV screen, he's the outside of the line towards the camera, number 50. Lightning quick, and he is strong. He's throwing his defender around like a rag doll. I'd run behind him all day.
Pretty important to have that on the quarterback's blind side.
He's the first one off the ball every play.
Janzik takes the snap, designed run, has some space toward the goal line, and he is down short at the 5-yard line.
2nd and 2.
First down is at the 3-yard line. Grens returning 13 starters, 9 of them being seniors.
It's a nice returning senior class.
They play 4 teams this year with a lower state rank than them, Maine West being one of them. Janzik takes a high snap, hands it off to Elsner. He is short.
Wow. I thought that third effort by the offensive line behind would have done it. It's first down anyway.
Change drop for 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Perhaps maybe a sneak here.
Yeah, don't get fancy here. You got 3 downs to do it. Just something quick up the middle.
You got Belmonte one-on-one on the near sideline. Perhaps maybe a fade. It's a handoff. Elsner, he's in.
Untouched.
Is he? No. Oh,
it was a fake.
Janzik faked out the commentators.
They got us. No wonder why he was untouched. He didn't have the ball.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the whistle. I was like, what are these linesmen looking at? But they're better than us. 2nd and 1.
Well, if he fakes out that many people, then that's probably a good thing on Janzik's part.
The snap is really starting to worry me a little bit. It's getting a little better as we go, though.
2nd and goal from the 2. Hand it off this time to Elsner, and this time he's in for the 2nd touchdown of the Grenadiers' day.
Good drive there, Gabe. Runs, passes, what you want.
So the last play we thought Elsner got it. This time he actually did get it.
He earned it. He had some heavy yards there on that drive.
Ground and pound offense so far for Elk Grove.
Garrett had no problems extra point last time, and it was 10 yards further, so I see good things. A little low. I didn't do it to him. Ooh, thank goodness.
Low kick, and it's good. 14-0, Elk Grove.
With 1:21 in the first. Last time we've said that.
It's very rare, especially with some of the heavy hitters that Elk Grove have to face in their conference every year. Very rare that they can get out to a hot start like this.
Yeah, I think the IHSA is starting to figure this out across the state, quite frankly. It's just yes, you have conferences, but, you know, school size makes a huge difference in turnout and whatnot. I think they're finally figuring it out. I think the Grenadiers will be more competitive, not only in the games, like you said, but, you know, winning is kind of contagious. And maybe you throw in a sparkling effort against Prospect. It can only help. Not to say I have this one for him already. Let's not jinx that. Knock on wood.
As the Grens kick off here and they take the field for defense, keep an eye on number 32, Kos Chia. I definitely butchered that name, but he is playing in his first career football game. Track athlete, 32, Ko Tashia.
Is an athlete from other sports, or?
He's a track athlete, and he's played hockey all his life. But this is his first football game. Using him at corner. Although he might just be on special teams duty for now.
He's nearest to us in the line right here on the kickoff. Be able to watch him come down.
Boots it away, and that's going to be kind of awkward, but fallen on by the Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know if that was meant to be a squib kick. Unfortunately, I was watching the players, but I don't know why you'd want to give up to a team on the 40, but
so we mentioned the improved offensive line, talked about the exterior, but the interior has guys like Kachi Owogwu and Ramiro Valvida, who both in the offseason received offers from UW of Platteville. It's definitely, you have Christian Tuyana in there as well as the aforementioned.
Good play. Let me catch a number here. I think it's Lucas Rogers. Yeah, good play. Throw is a little low, but the Maine West receiver heard footsteps. Lucas was right there. Perfect timing. Yeah, an offensive line can make or break any season, any team. You don't have to be outstanding. You just have to be better than average. And then your star players, not star players, but maybe more athletic players can do their thing.
Especially when you have a guy like Janzik who can definitely run the ball. As there's a screen pass. That's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So 2 plays. One an incomplete pass and another one that went nowhere.
3rd and 9. I don't know if you had heard, Gabe, but the sophomores won 18-0, pitched a shutout.
Yeah, I was on the side grass field preparing for marching band, and I was watching a little bit of that game when I could. Here's a bootleg roll out over the head of Jason Hyden. Incomplete.
Good D.
Lockdown defense. It's 4th and 9, and here comes the punt team.
Maine West quarterback just seems just a little bit nervous. If he could just hang in another half a second, plant his feet and move forward, I think the ball will be on target a little more. He just hasn't been on target currently.
Looks like they're running some sort of a dual quarterback offense because they had both number 15 Thomas Delaney and number 9 Michael Petrenko.
By snap, almost blocked.
Absolute bomb. Rogers takes it, and he's wrestled down at the 40-yard line. Just short of it. And that's where the Grenadiers offense will take over.
23 left in the quarter. We'll flip sides here.
Now look out, maybe not this drive, but definitely eventually for number 21 in the backfield is Daryl Hunt. Miles Osei definitely said at some point he was going to get carries today, even if it is just to give Elsner a breather.
Sophomore game?
Yes.
5'9"?
I believe so.
Elsner's in the backfield now. He had a good season last year.
There's a fake. Janzik has some room, and he's taken down just short of the 45-yard line.
Good pursuit by Maine West there. Mitch could have had another 15, but he got caught from behind.
It was a good play design, too.
That's going to bring the end of the first quarter. Good start. Very good start for Elk Grove Grenadiers. Maine West seems to have a ton of players on that far side. I know Elk Grove had a much better turnout this year for the whole program. I think it was up 90 some kids or something. So 92 kids came out?
92, 47 of them are freshmen.
That's fantastic. That'll make a coaching staff happy, right?
Yeah.
Well, last year the freshman team was pretty legit too. These are all our sophomores this year, so maybe in a few years, you know, numbers can only help.
Numbers and size.
Yeah,
definitely.
size, that's for sure. It's kind of how the Grens have it in basketball. They get a couple, and then they go a couple years where they're a little shorter team in the division.
Yeah, last year definitely seemed like just could not catch a break with the teams. Hersey, Prospect came up in both football and basketball.
In basketball, they had a small team last year. They had some talent, but they're going up against some D1 kids, especially out of Prospect and Barrington and Friend.
And Rolling Meadows.
Yeah, well, she's the Christie brothers. I forgot about them. Elsner in the backfield still.
Janzik throws, and it's complete.
Nice little timing play by him and Lucas Rogers. It's 12 yards, first down.
Good play design on a curl route. And Janzik finds his favorite target from last year.
I got to believe both these kids worked over the summer, too, on just little timing routes and whatnot.
Person we haven't said yet is Sebastian Halalovich. He played a big role in the offense last year. Janzik going deep for Lucas Rogers. There was a little bit of contact, but no chance for Rogers to catch it.
I don't know if Lucas knew he was going to go that deep. Either that or maybe, like you said, there was a little bit of contact. Because, I mean, Mitch threw that 20 yards over his head, and it's not like Lucas isn't fast enough. 2nd and 10.
Runs back to the line quickly. We'll see how their stamina holds up as the game goes on. The last few years, it's been a big problem. Seems like after halftime, their opponent took over. Just got outworked. Hand off to Elsner. pile pushes forward for about 4.
Yeah, from nothing to something. It's at least a 4-yard gain.
It's going to be 3rd and 6.
No substitutions really on offense, right? They're sticking with what they got.
Jose said that they were going to give the ball to whoever gets them going. So far, it's definitely been Elsner and Janzik. 3rd and 6. Let's see what the Grens dial up here. There's a play action. Janzik in trouble. Breaks out of pressure and finally taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, tackle from behind. They were looking deep on that play. I don't think Mitch had any intention of running, but
it's Frankie Norman on the stop.
Decent coverage by the corners by Maine West.
4th down in Maine West territory. Looks like they're going to punt it away.
Not much wind to speak of. If anything, it's coming over to student section's shoulders and headed towards the far side. Not really big whatsoever.
The American flag is barely moving. Booted away.
Outside his foot, but a good punt.
And that's
outside
out.
the 20.
At the 18-yard line is where they're going to spot it. Of course, when you think of punts, you can't help but forget. You can't forget the 71-yard punt by Colin Kolanowitz last year against
Hersey. We did that game, didn't we? We were there. You were here?
I was.
Oh, you okay?
Marching band. I remember because it was toward the end zone where the marching band is. I was waving it along.
Yeah, right.
All the way to the 1-yard line. Here come the Warriors on their first play of this drive.
Just under the 10-minute mark. Another couple quick stops here. Let's get that field position before half.
Handoff Pittman,
nice
and
run.
he breaks open. Some big yardage.
Yeah, he just kept the wheels moving. Got him an extra 2 yards.
Isaac Pittman only played basketball his freshman and sophomore year, and then made the transition to a dual athlete his junior year. Last year, exploded for 5 touchdowns in the Warriors' second game of the season against Hubbard. It was one of 2 games that Maine West won last year. Quick snap,
good
over the middle, complete. And gonna have first down yardage. That's Ernesto Martinez with the reception, but nothing more.
Good for a first down, but they're not giving them chunks. Yeah, go close quickly on that pass. Student section getting into it.
First and 10, defense looking for some help from the crowd. And it's a handoff to Pittman.
Great play by the
goes
Grens.
absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, absolute gang tackle. I believe they have somewhat of a new uniform. I don't remember seeing Grens on the side of the pants last year.
And this is just a personal preference, but I personally prefer green and green. Green and yellow is okay, but reminds me a little too much of the Packers.
Not gonna lie, I'm with you on that.
On 2nd and 9, it's an empty set for the Warriors. Throw and too low.
Yeah, he had time to throw that ball. He had an extra step, but he's just rushing the ball out of his hands, and they're either going to go high or low. It's very hard to throw a pass into somebody's chest when you don't have your feet square.
It was Thomas Delaney threw the wayward pass.
Gabe, just give me a heads up. Gabe is doing double duty here for the Grenadiers. He's in the marching band, so he's going to be leaving us around the 7-minute mark. If that's what it takes to get you in the booth, I'll trade that all day. Timeout, Grens.
I'm not sure about the rest of the home games, but I was able to convince the appropriate parties to make accommodations for me. Thank you.
When we get your podcast up to like 150 Elk Grove residents, they're going to be watching it. We'll have a little petition, and whoever the powers that be will, they'll have 150 letters to go read. How's that? We'll find a way, Gabe.
Thank you to you, to Debbie Dennison, and to Ron Fiorito for the opportunity to commentate a home football game. It's the first one I've been able to do. Been able to do a couple away games, but it's a different experience at home. After the timeout, a little over 8 minutes remaining in the half, and it's 3rd and 9 for the Maine West Warriors.
Drop play.
They flip it to Pittman. Good play design, but it's still short.
Yeah, with the time and the score, I can't see Maine West going for it here. The field's too flipped for them. I mean, it is, what, 4th and 3.5? Could be wrong, but...
Looks like they're staying out there.
Yeah, I don't know. 4th and 2, I guess. Well, it's not as much as I thought, so... This is a make or break, obviously, for Maine West, because Elk Grove has plenty of time if they get the ball back here on the next play.
Jump by the Grenadiers.
That should make up the coach's mind at this point.
And that's going to be a free first.
Oh, I thought it was going the other way. Elk Grove players looked pretty excited. And maybe that's what the coach had for Maine West, is a super hard count. Burns a timeout if Elk Grove doesn't jump.
West had 11 starters return, and they got over 50 on the sideline.
It's a big bench over there.
Hand off to Pittman, and he's becoming a problem for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, they're definitely going to lean on him because it's been successful. Those last 2 plays, probably averaging 3.5, 4 yards carry, so.
John, I'm going to pass the commentary to you. I'll be back for the second half.
Gabe, good luck. We'll see you when you get back. All right, 2nd and 3, just under 6.5 minutes to go in the half. Pittman has started to open up a couple lanes here, and could be a worry. Quarterback draw. Elk Grove sniffs it out very well. Still gets falls for a couple extra yards. On a bad angle, but it looks like it's will be 3rd down. Maine West has burned one of their timeouts. Excuse me, they have all 3 left. At this point, with the time in the quarter, I got to be ready for a couple longer passes. Something over the middle maybe right now. Quarterback draw. Gets the 1st down. Not much more than that. Clock will start on the ref's whistle. Just under 5.5 minutes left. Like to see the Grens tighten up just a little bit here on D. Maine West in no hurry coming out of the huddle. Motion. Ooh. Ball. Yeah, try a little lateral. Lateral was high. Elk Grove, I think, was holding their lanes, which you can't argue with, but that ball was on the ground for quite some time. going to have 2nd and 19. Watch for Pittman. If Maine West wants to, they have obviously 2 more downs. They're going to go for it on 4th, I would believe. Pittman gets a chunk here. He's going to go pass. Nice little screenplay. That's incomplete pass. Coverage by Holovic. Third and 19. Elk Grove's up 14-0. You know, every year you get new players, but every year you also get a new student section, and it's fun to see that the student section's packed. Win or lose, Elk Grove has a great turnout. Another low snap. Sideline pass, wide open. Call it incomplete. He must be juggling it. Looked like a catch and a foot down for me. Both officials there said it was a bobble. This will be 4th and 19. Interested to see if Elk Grove will call a timeout here. They've got 2 left. Let's see what Elk Grove has when they get the ball back. So far, the offense have showed they can run and pass the ball here against Maine West. I'd like to see a little hurry-up offense. Punts up, good punt. Sends Lucas back a couple, 3-4 yards. He's got he had a seam. Good tackle by Maine West. That brings it out to about the 35-yard line. Let's see what Miles has up for the Gren offense here. Grens are spread wide. Elsner in the backfield. Rogers up high here, alone. Little quarterback sweep. Mitch gets out of bounds. We got a flag. I'm gonna guess a late hit. Boy, that's not what you need if you're Maine West. Let's see what the referee calls here. Oh, it's holding on Elk Grove. All right, well, I can use the same statement. That's not what the Elk Grove coach needs. So it'll be 1st and 16. 3:46 left. There's Coach Jose. Coach Jose stays relatively calm on the sidelines, I've noticed over the years. Mitch going to drop back, a little screen play. Elsner breaks one tackle. Tackle pushed forward back to about the line of scrimmage, maybe an extra yard. Should be 2nd and 9. Good turnout by Maine West crowd too. They're in your picture there. Student section. Janzik in the shotgun. Rogers up top. So Gabe was talking about Darrell Hunt earlier. Darrell got a carry there. Swallowed up at the line. Maine West pursued the ball real well there. 3rd and 8. Elk Grove in a hurry-up offense. They even get close to the first down. I gotta believe Miles will take that 4th down and try for the first. I just don't see him punting here. Defense have played so well so far for Elk Grove. Drops back to pass. Swallowed up by Maine West. That's a huge loss. That's a big stop for Maine West. Elk Grove offense was having their way with them, but on this series, not so much. So 4th and 12. Looks like Maine West took. Maine West took their first time out. Rightfully so, with the field position and the yardage to gain. We'll see what Elk Grove does here. Obviously going to be a punt, but we're going to have some decent coverage. Just do everything you can to get them to go as long as they can to get in field goal range. Try to keep the shutout for the first half. Looks like a punt formation. Mitch Janczyk back to punt. Maine West numbers are hard to read, unfortunately, but I think that's Anthony Sanchez, number 11. Back to receive. Good snap. Good end-over-end punt. Maine West doesn't want to touch it, and favorable bounce for Elk Grove. Might get to the 22. Good punt by Mitchell. So here's where your defense can kind of make a statement. Yes, you know, they had a good game, but you don't want any momentum with less than 2 minutes to go in a half. Turnover, 3 and outs, anything you can get here, just kind of put Maine West on their heels. Let them think about it over halftime. No big plays here. Pass the ball. Oh, what a play. What a play. That's what you needed. There's going to be another timeout here. I believe it's going to be the Grens. With that play and 2 minutes to go, Elk Grove wants to stop the clock. Because if we could turn the ball over or make a punt, we got the field position. It's a gorgeous night out here. September football can be some of the best sports viewing in the whole entire season. Student section is pretty crowded tonight. It's good to see. Freshmen are where they belong in the first 2-3 rows, and work your way back to the seniors. So I believe Channel 6 is going to have 5 televised, 4 more, not after this one, of Elk Grove home game football, which is fantastic. Elk Grove TV and Facebook Live. Pittman, no gain, maybe 2. Coach will say he's going to burn that last time out, I believe. Which he does. Maine West might even, well, I don't know. Any more loss of yardage, and your punter's going to have a little bit of a problem. All right, we're going to come out of this timeout, 3rd and 20. 1:34 left. Elk Grove up 14-0. Looks like Maine West has 2 timeouts left. Elk Grove has 1. I could have sworn that was their 3rd, but this could be a really good play, not only for the defense, but flip it and give it back to the offense with some time left. We'll draw play. Elk Grove sniffs it out. Maybe a yard at best. Clock is running. 1:20. Yeah, that's got to be wrong, because if Elk Grove had the timeout, I'm sure they would have took it there. Yeah, Maine West running every bit of the clock. They might even take their timeout right as their time would be up for the play. Yep. Maine West burns their timeout. Get the clock down as much as possible. It'll be 34 seconds when Grenadiers take over the ball. Elk Grove might not be done yet. I mean, Lucas is a pretty decent athlete. He's a very good runner. He's had success with punt returns last year, and we've seen some nice ones this year. So let's see if we can put one together. Obviously, Hawaiian night. Lucas is pretty deep on this. I don't think he wants anything over his head. Redby coming into it. If you're going to try to gain momentum for a return, let's see what happens. Good snap. Ooh, they almost got it. Real short kick. He was under complete pressure. Poison. They want all the Elk Grove guys away from the ball. Elk Grove's going to get it at the Maine West 42-ish. 26 seconds left. Plenty of time. Couple plays. Looks like Osei saved his timeout for this very reason. Let's see what we get. Split wide. Elsner in the backfield. Mitchell's got some time. Oh, wide open Rogers. Cuts to the middle of the field, gets down, still going. Maybe out about the 13. Blown coverage, and Mitchell told Rogers hand signal, go deep. The cornerback bit, and Lucas was wide open. That took 10 seconds off the clock. Elk Grove in a hurry-up offense, coming off a completed pass out of bounds. You got to know if you're Maine West, Lucas is going to look for Rogers. I mean, they've been a tandem for quite some time. High snap again. One way, looking one way. That's offensive. Defensive interference in the end zone. Cornerback didn't have to do it. The ball was completely overthrown, and Lucas only had a half a step before he got out of bounds. But the cornerback did engage way too early. Elk Grove's going to get the benefit of that call. Mitch looking in, see what the play is. .4 seconds left. Looks like the ball's on about the 8. like to see Mitch fake to Luke and run it to the left. No pressure. Good pass, good route, good touchdown. Good route by Lucas. Tipped his shoulder left, spun around, and the ball was in route already. Great timing by Elk Grove. Puts them up 20-0 with 7 seconds left in the half. So Garrett Ewan in for his hopefully 3rd point of the game. Snap up. Kick is good. 21-0. Elk Grove over Maine West. Opening night of 2022 season home game. It's good to see this program get some success here. They've earned it over the years. It's been hard to get in the last few years, and it's good to see the program and the kids and the coaches get a little reward for all their work. Not to mention appearance in the stand, right? So don't leave the broadcast, folks, because I believe, I'll be told if I'm wrong, but I believe we're just going to stay live for the band, the halftime show. I'm going to cut my mic and get out of your ear and enjoy one of the other larger programs in Elk Grove High School is the Elk Grove Marching Band. They work extremely hard, and believe me, I don't live far from the high school, and I hear them every Saturday morning starting at 7:30 and going till 5 o'clock. It's a great program here. So hopefully, Scott, you'll tell me if I'm wrong, but hopefully we'll stay live for them. Little squib kick, keep it in play, and that ought to wrap up halftime here. Yep, Ewan just kicks it right down the middle, couple hops. Maine West bump each other. They're going to get 5.2 seconds left. I suspect a knee, but it is high school football. You never know. Yeah, that kickoff return, I think, really put Maine West on their heels. You know, that's kind of rough. They've had a bit of a struggle as a program over the years, too, and you practice all summer long, you're doing, two-a-days, and you come out in your first play, basically Elk Grove scores on you, and that could be defeating. Yeah, it looks like a knee here because they got a running back well off the ball. Yep, just a knee by Maine West, and that'll take care of it. Grens look great in the first half, all 3 phases. I mean, Garrett Ewan's made all his extra points. We've had some decent punts by Mitch Janzik. Offense has played well. The offensive line's played really well. And the defense throws up a goose egg. So, folks, thanks a lot. Stick around for the band, and Gabe and I will see you on the other side of the half.
one heroic journey. We ask that the audience respectfully and quietly watch and listen as the 2022 Marching Grenadiers perform for you. Our drum majors are Connor Lipinsky and Eric Siak. You may take the field for this evening's performance of Heroic Journey. There they go, your Elk Grove Marching Grenadiers in the halftime show. Thank you very much, members of the Marching Grenadiers. Now, if you purchase a ticket in the drawing for the Split the Pot, new ticket, please have that ticket ready. In the second here, we'll read you tonight's lucky winner. If you have that number, please come up to the press box and collect your half of tonight's pot. Okay, here's tonight's winning number. Blue ticket 3, 8, 7, 4, 6, 7. Again, 3, 8, 7, 4, 6, 7. If you hold that ticket, come on up to the press box and pick up your prize. Thank you. 387-464. I'm sorry, 467. 387-467.
welcome you back to the second half in Elk Grove Village between the Elk Grove Grenadiers and the Maine West Warriors. John, I'm joined by John Walls. John, it was a good first half for the Grens. They started out early with a big kickoff return, brought them to the opponent 5-yard line. They punched it in with Jacob Elsner. A couple drives later, they had a nice meticulous drive, which was also capped off by a Jacob Elsner touchdown. And then right before halftime, passing touchdown. I was on the sideline, so I didn't quite catch who it was to, but that's the scoring update
Lucas
so
Rogers,
far.
I believe. It was a great route by Lucas. The pass was already in the air. Mitch knew right where he was going into the corner here. Yeah, it was a good play overall. I think a couple things I saw was, well, obviously that first half, the first play kickoff, I think it put Maine West on their heels. I mean, the Grenadiers basically controlled all phases. They had a little hiccup here about the 4-minute in the fourth quarter where they couldn't get off the field. There was an offsides, and then Pickett had a couple draws. So you don't want to, hang back on your laurels like, hey, we're up 14-0. We got 4 minutes to go. But I think the coaching staff got them together. They got the ball back, and, that last touchdown was huge for the Grens in the first half.
And Janzik and Lucas Rogers warming up on the near sideline as we're about to kick off for the second half.
I'd really, really, really love to see Elk Grove come out. I don't expect a kickoff return when we, or a punt return when we get the ball back. But if we can put a couple more touchdowns up, it just gives the coaching staff a leeway to maybe play some of these sophomores and juniors that he might need down the stretch against the, MSL East. A deep roster can catch you a win as well.
I'm not sure if they showed it on the broadcast, but what'd you think of the marching band performance?
I did. I don't think people realize. Well, number one, it's a very good program here at Elk Grove, and it always has been. Elk Grove is bit by a lot of their programs by low attendance, and that's just who we are. But I don't think the public knows how much time and effort the band puts in all summer long.
Oh yeah.
You guys wake me up in the summer quite often at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. 2 weeks, end of July, beginning of August. 2 weeks from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just keeps going and going. And you guys do tournaments and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, we have
a lot of travel.
Yeah, we have competitions. The last few years we've gone to Wheeling, to Prospect, and then last year we went down to Champaign, Urbana for the Illinois State Championship, or Illinois Marching Band Championship at Memorial Stadium. This year we're going to Illinois State in Bloomington Normal.
Yeah, I just don't think the common resident understands how big of a program it is, and it's definitely one of the programs that relies heavily on volunteerism. You guys have so much equipment and that travel, and mostly the parents step up big time.
Yes, definitely.
It's a full-time job. It really is, being a band parent. I've had a couple friends that their kids have gone through it. It's rewarding. All right, let's see what we got here. Kickoff left to right. Maine West is going to get the ball. And like I said, if we basically control the whole tempo of the game, let's see if we can come out and do the same here on our first defensive stance.
Away we go for the second half. It's going to be Pittman, drops the ball, picked up by Pittman, and he's going to make something out of nothing.
Wow, that ball bounced. It could not have been any better of a bounce for Maine West. It literally was almost like a lateral, the last bounce into Pittman's chest, because Grenadier defender was within a half a yard. Good coverage.
Definitely. I don't have a lot of experience with fielding kicks. Is it tough when it's got backspin? Does it?
I could never do it. Never in a million years. It's like a knuckleball on steroids. It's just, it does what it wants to do. Tough job.
Thomas Delaney in shotgun, hands off for no gain.
Yeah, that
maybe
went
a
nowhere.
loss.
That went nowhere. Hopefully Grens come out fired out. I'd like to see a Second half just as good, if not better, than the first. Now, marching band, is that all year, or is it just seasonal? Is there other bands that are involved?
It's marching band is only during the fall season, so it ends at the end of October.
And I know every year you guys bring in the underlings at the junior highs to come out on the field. That's pretty cool.
It's definitely. Here's a flag on the snap.
Offsides, I believe, on Elk Grove.
Looks like it's
got a Grenadier down here. Slowly to get up. I can't get a number. He's surrounded. There he is. He's to his feet.
Looks like it's number 23. That is
calling it an ankle.
Owen Davenport.
An ankle or a hip? It's not. It's not the knee.
Owen Davenport.
Coaching staff will have a quick look at him.
It was an offensive penalty on Maine West, so that pushes him back 5. That's a big break for the Grens.
I'm here looking at the sidelines, Gabe. It looks like a cramp, to be honest with you. As soon as he got here, he immediately went down, and coaches are stretching him out. So maybe he gets back on the field here in a few plays.
Davenport, who was an integral part of boys track in the spring season, and tasked with the cornerback duties for his team, at least in the early stages.
You know, it's been a relatively clean game for the Grenadiers. I think 1 offsides is all I can remember. And as soon as I say that.
It's Delaney before the snap to false start. So it's going to be 2nd and 20.
Great night for football. I was saying while you were gone, it's nice to see every year it's a new team, it's a new band, it's new this. Well, it's a new student section too. And for the first game of the year, home game, they've turned out in droves. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I know a few of my friends. They're seniors, but they're getting into the student section for the first time, as there's a dump off to Jason Hayden. And that gets a good chunk of the penalty yardage back, plus a little more.
He almost dropped that ball. His first step, he was, going to start to accelerate, and the ball kind of slipped a little. It slowed him up. Maine West comes out, shotgun.
Watch the near side here, Daryl Hunt. It's going to be a run. It's going to be, I believe, Pittman. Yeah.
21 cornerback?
Yeah, 21 cornerback. I thought for a minute Maine West might have something one-on-one with Daryl Hunt. There was not a safety in the same zip code. Maybe trying to test the sophomore.
Well, if you're coaching staff and you want to find out what you have, it's not a bad idea. They're giving him a little help this time. Well, they've come out of it. Timeout here, Elk Grove, I believe.
And they didn't have the right coverage they had.
Confusion on the defense.
They had 3 receivers on the near side of the ball, and only 2 guys over there, including Logan Tosterud, who is primarily a linebacker.
Logan's brother Brady, I believe, is playing ball at
Whitewater.
That's a Whitewater D3 school. He was a heck of a football player and a wrestler, obviously a state celebrated wrestler throughout his career here at Elk Grove.
And one of the biggest questions coming into the season was how they were going to replace him at the tight end position. And one option was Dylan Berkowitz, who is as close as you're going to get to him in terms of size. But I don't think we've said his name much so far. Number 13, sophomore.
Yeah, they might be easing that offense in. They got some weapons again this year. They really do. It's just, the offensive line to me looks a lot better than what it did. Repetition, practice, couple new faces.
This could potentially be a game-changing play right here. 4th and 2. Oh, it's going to be a punt instead. I didn't see the punter back there.
Lucas has got it.
Rogers lets
Let
it
go.
bounce.
Smart.
And takes a good Warriors bounce.
That's a smart play.
Down
Gave
to-
up about 15, 20 yards, but it's better than giving up the ball.
Down to the 21, and that's where the Grenadiers will take over.
Now tomorrow, you start back at practice, or do you have a tournament?
No, we don't have anything tomorrow. We don't have another performance until the homecoming game, week 3 against Niles North.
So I heard you correctly. That's 3 weeks of 1 to 9.
2 weeks.
2 weeks of 8 hours a day, right?
Yes.
That's
and
a
then,
full-time job.
Then we have scattered Saturday rehearsals, usually before the football season, where it's 9 to 4. We got Janzik in the backfield, as well as 2 more Grenadiers. They hand it off to Elsner, and he goes absolutely nowhere, bear hugged for a short gain or no gain. How about Ken Grahams? Good to hear his voice again.
Yeah, legendary Hall of Famer. Anytime I get on a mic, I'm going to bring up the fact that he's a Hall of Fame coach and one of the best men you'll ever meet in the world. Absolute stalwart here at Elk Grove High School.
Recently achieved career win number 1,000 with his girls softball team.
You know, I knew he was close. I read the paper. He was at 997, and I kind of lost track, and I missed it the day he got it.
Here's Elsner.
Nice
Big
run.
run up the middle.
Huge.
And he's down past the 40-yard line, up to the 41. That's a gain of about 15, 17, something like that. But it moves the chains for the Grenadiers. And they're right back on the ball, ready to go.
Yeah, 1,000 wins in a high school sport is absolutely insane. And you need more than pen and paper to figure it out. You need a calculator because he's been doing it a long time.
Since the mid-70s. Originally started, I believe, you might have to check me on this, as here's a handoff to Elsner. Or no, it's a keeper by Janzik. And he gets across the line to gain.
I got to be honest, Gabe. Elsner plays a nice fake because twice now he's gotten both of us because I was on Elsner on that play too. And they're both doing a nice job hiding the ball. Obviously, they're getting yardage with it.
And one of the things I said on my podcast to look out for was designed Mitchell Janzik runs. And it seems like we've had a few of those. And definitely also seen plays where maybe Lucas Rogers runs a route, and if he's not open, he pulls it down to run.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet today. Nice little gain of 5 there. Running with authority. He hit the hole very quickly. Jeremiah Pickett's on the other side now, so I'm going to have to, it's going to take me a little more eyesight to find him, but just look for the first guy off the ball, top of your screen off the offensive line. He's a little bit shorter than the other lineman, but he fires off the ball. The whole line's done a nice job tonight.
Janzik fakes, throws, that's
Wide
complete.
open.
Rogers,
Great timing
lunging
play.
forward, past the 30, and that's another good gain for the Grens.
Could have had a personal foul there from what I saw. The defender, not so much the late hit, but just leading with the helmet. No call. There's only about 6 officials over there, so I'll take their word for it.
Grens moving quickly down the field. This is more closer to what we saw last year in Des Plaines.
And this is what I wanted to see out of Coach Osei. You know, let's not burn clock. And I'm not saying he would have, but you got to put your foot on the pedal here, right coming out of the second half.
There's a handoff. Elsner, short of the line of gain, but still a good run. Don't let Jacob Elsner's 5'7", 165 frame fool you. He is a strong running back.
Yeah. His first couple steps are pretty quick, which can really help you. You know, this is one of those things, Gabe, where, okay, don't fix it if it's not broken. I'd be shocked if I see anything other than running plays because they're getting 6-7 at a chunk here.
2nd and 3.
Little snap
Janzik.
again.
Quick
Find
pass.
Rogers again.
And that. It's going to be Lucas Rogers again. Has he thrown to anyone except for Lucas so far?
No.
I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, yeah, and you know, if you're Maine West, I saw a double team on that one. They've brought the safety over a little bit. We'll see. I mean, Mitch has got to start looking for some other guys because they are going to double team. They're going to bring up the safety. Somebody's going to be wide open here on the right side. We might see it before the end of the game.
Sebastian Halilovic could be a name, as he's a keeper by Mitch Janzik.
That's a design quarterback draw.
About Halilovic, he had a big kickoff return touchdown in the season finale last season at Wheeling, and that sparked what was a very, very good way to end the season. Finishing 3-6, 3 wins is the most they've had since they made the playoffs in 2013. And they keep getting progressively better.
Yep.
Handoff, Elsner.
Oh, he's a
holding on to
motor.
the ball.
He's an absolute motor. He just keeps his legs moving. Very hard to tackle.
That was, I believe, Alec Hornish who hit him first, tried to rip the ball out, but Elsner kept it high and tight.
Gabe, before we leave here tonight, I need you to write down however the heck I'm going to get to your podcast because I'm not too hot on this technology stuff, so you're going to have to kind of spoon feed me on it, but I will definitely start to listen.
Well, in the next stoppage, I'll tell you how. Here's a play action by Janzik, and he's going to be taken down in the backfield. You can either go to Spotify, search up the Grenadier Network. It should be the first one on there. Or if you go to @EG Media, I believe it is.
What was that one, Gabe? @EG?
@EG Media. Scroll for my podcast. There's a link to it where you can listen to it on Spotify for yourself. Me breaking down the football season preview. And here's a handoff. Elsner reaching the ball forward, not quite to the line.
I gotta be honest with you, Gabe. I purchased Spotify Family, and there's 3 others in my family. I have never been on Spotify in 3 years because neither of them, none of them, no, all 3 of them, they refuse to help me figure out how to put it on my phone. So maybe this will push me over the edge, and I'll find out a way.
It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Jumbo package for the Grenadiers. It's a keeper, Janzik, and he is in for another Grenadier rushing touchdown.
Nice cut back by Mitch to find the hole. Wide open for him. Easy touchdown. I'm very happy to see that the Grens kept the foot on the pedal, and Elsner is just finding spots. I mean, they knocked off, we got under 3 minutes in the quarter. Great run here by Elk Grove. 20, we'll call it 27. I got faith in Garrett.
3 for 3 and knocks it through for 4 for 4.
Hey, I didn't jinx him.
And how about the Grenadiers opening out to a 28-0 lead to start the campaign this season?
Well, unfortunately, I think we need more to get the highlight on the Daily Herald Sports page, because if Prospect loses by 4, that will be the headline. We're getting there, though. We're getting there.
Now, who's Prospect playing tonight? Because I saw they were the marquee matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got a pretty tough non-conference schedule typically. But I did not check the 214 schools today.
And it's flashed up on the screen 21-0, but we can't confirm. After the last touchdown, it's 28 on the board for the Grenadiers.
Good start here for Elk Grove.
Definitely.
I'm not opposed to seeing a running clock in the 4th quarter. We've seen that an awful lot in the last few years, and it was never for our side. So Maybe it's time to get one back.
Now, what is it, 35, right?
I believe it's 35. And I believe it's the fourth quarter only. I could be wrong on that.
At what point do you think head coach Miles Osei pulls the plugs on the starters and lets the depth get some time?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to see what defensive stance he makes. I don't see this game changing any. Maine West has just been clogged up by the Gren's defense. I think you'll see maybe some starters now stay in bounds. It went out of bounds. But if there's no score change, I would hope to see some of the, the names that you've spoken of, some of the sophomores and whatnot, start the fourth quarter. And I don't think it's going to be a wholesale change, right? I mean,
no,
there's probably 4 or 5 that would like to take a look at, get some varsity experience.
As we mentioned earlier, the collegiate offers from 2 individuals on the offensive line. And one of them was Kachi Ogwu, and him and Garrett Ewan have also received D3 offers from Knox College.
Knox College is a great university, and not far here from Elk Grove Village. It's one of those kind of under-the-radar colleges, but we've had a lot of former Grens play there.
Delaney in the backfield. Seems like he is the permanent starter for now. After we saw a little bit. That's over the head and picked off
by Rock.
Lucas Rogers. And he is down across the 50 into Warrior territory. The first takeaway for the Grenadiers in 2022.
So if you ask me now, you've got the complete game. Now you just got to finish off strong. That was a great read. The pass sailed on the quarterback. Lucas broke before the receiver. Receiver might have even tripped up a little, but the ball hawk, we got it. And now we're in basically Warrior territory.
Grens take over in Warrior territory after the takeaway. Janzik going
He's
deep.
open.
He's got Rogers.
What a catch.
He's got the
What
catch.
a catch. Very close to offensive pass interference, but I think they were both hand fighting the whole time. But Lucas got a little push off at the end there, and it gave him about 2 more feet of gap, and he went out and got the ball. Good pass, good route, good catch.
Good throw by Mitch Janzik,
Sure
too.
was.
Put it right on the money, and he let Lucas Rogers go out and make a play for him. It's been his favorite receiver so far. I believe the only receiver so far. And here is a handoff to Elsner.
Yeah, Maine West was ready for that. They plugged the middle. They sold their soul to that run, and they won.
I think actually
that was Janzik, I believe.
Yeah, Janzik kept it again.
Yeah.
It's been getting us all day.
Elk Grove will spread it out now. Man, what a good route by Lucas and a great throw by Mitch. Maine West refuses to double him.
Janzik rolling out to his left, cutting back in, and he is down inside the 5.
Probably 2?
He marked it around the 2. He's having a good game.
Yeah, that brings up 4th down, am I right? No, can't be. 3rd and 2.
3rd and goal from the 2. Grens elect to go quickly. Logan Toster, number 6, checks into the game now in the backfield. With Elsner still to the left of Mitchell Janzik. Here's a designed run. He punches it in, and he
touchdown.
is in. It's another rushing touchdown, number 5 on the day in total for the Grenadiers. And
Mitchell's had 2, right? 2 or 3? Elsner's had
2.
2. That's got to be his second, I believe.
And then the one passing touchdown.
Yeah, that was the Rodgers. I think that's Mitch's second touchdown. Starting to spread the wealth a little. I like to see it.
With just under a minute to play in the third quarter, the Grens have a chokehold on the Maine West Warriors.
Gabe, you might know this too. So many of us here that have been residents for a long time, we used to get the Herald. Papers used to give stats on just every football game. It's really hard to find stats. Is there anywhere to go now, like Saturday mornings, to see who had what yardages, who rushed, who passed? Are you aware?
I believe you have to go to the Daily Herald website.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so they're not printing it as much, but they are reporting.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's cheaper to put it on a website than it is to put it on paper.
Yeah, understood. Again, technology. You're going to have to drag me through this thing.
Garrett Ewan, PAT is good for the 35th point of the Grenadiers' day. And they finished last season with a point differential of -110. And part of that was due to that 57-7 homecoming loss to Prospect last year.
Yeah, I'd love to see a revenge on that one sooner than later. You know, but still, that's 9 games. You know, 110 differential, that's big. I like our chances this year having a much better season. I really do. I don't know, you're with the coaching staff. Did they kind of show the fact or talk about the fact that they see a little more positivity this year?
It definitely, so there's a vibe around the school.
Good.
And it definitely seems like a more positive vibe than in years past.
Well, what better way to do it than start out 35-0?
At home.
You got that right. I think next up for the Grens is Niles North, I believe.
Next up is it's an away game. It's Hoffman Estates.
Okay.
And they just added a 5-star running back to their repertoire after going 9-3 last season.
Yep.
So
they were a decent team. I was watching it as long as I could, but I didn't know how far they got in the playoffs, state playoffs. Touches the ground there, and that ball's dead.
And that's something that's going to give head coach George Klupchak, it's going to make him pull his hair out of his head a little bit.
That's assuming he has any left.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoffman was a legit state contender, if I'm not mistaken, mid-season. They were talked about quite a bit. I just don't know how it finished up last year.
Speaking of state contenders, our Grenadiers soccer team, boys soccer, is being talked about as one of the favorites to win the MSL this year.
You know, I do follow the Grens Twitter page, and last year there was a lot of positivity about that program. That was last year.
Patrick Makita led the way. I'm not sure how much of a soccer fan you are. I really couldn't classify myself as one until the pandemic hit, and the Premier League was the first thing back.
Yeah, well, that and Korean baseball. I watch enough Korean baseball to choke a horse.
Yep. On second down, it's Delaney who hands it off to Pittman. Cut back inside, breaks a hole for a minute, and then great last-ditch tackling, arm tackling by that Grenadiers secondary.
Arm tackling's not going to stop him. He had a great extra effort there for an extra 3-4 yards, which in turn, gives him the first down. We got the whistle for the third quarter. Elk Grove has added to their lead. That's all you can ask for so far.
And I was standing in the corner of the end zone right by the American flag, and it was 14-0 right before halftime. And I was thinking to myself, I said, all things considered, this has been a pretty mediocre to disappointing half for the Grenadiers. You'd like them to have a little bit more, and then they tacked on that late touchdown. Going into halftime, I think that made them feel a lot better about where they were.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, listen, Elk Grove came in as a heavy favorite. You have to believe that. However, first game, I just think everybody's feeling everything out. the players are obviously jittery. Some of them have never been on varsity before. I'm hopeful that it was just, coaching staff and the team getting kind of used to live play. I mean, they've been banging each other's heads for a while. It's time to go get somebody else. So let's see what the second half brings. But that drive that just took place to get us our 5th touchdown, I mean, that had it all. A couple passes to Rogers, a couple QB sneaks, should say QB draws. So let's see what they put up this time.
John, what are your thoughts? I talked about this on my podcast too. What are your thoughts about the new additions for the Grenadiers coaching staff, Brent Perlman and Bruce Bazzali? Perlman especially was a big name talked about because of his tenure at Prospect and Wheeling. As here's a handoff to Pittman, and he breaks one free.
Nobody catching him.
He is gone. Isaac Pittman finally gets the Warriors on the board on the first play of the 4th quarter. And Maine West finally has something to cheer about.
I believe that was about a 69-yard run. And quite frankly, that run was over after the 15th yard. What speed he showed there. I could see why they've been banging him in the middle constantly, because, boy, he hit the secondary, he was gone.
And if there were more police officers here, I think might have written him a speeding ticket.
You're not kidding, Gabe. He was lightning fast. I mean, there wasn't anybody within him 15 yards by the time he got to the 10. And by no stretch was Elk Grove giving up. They had a pack of 3-4 players. There's no chance.
We were talking before that happened about Brent Perlman and Bruce Bazzali, the 2 new additions to the coaching staff for the Grenadiers. Perlman had a Prospect coaching record of 104-34, 23-6 in the postseason, and 3-time state champion, 6-time, I believe, I'm not sure about that one, MSL champion, and he won an MSL title with Wheeling with Osei as one of his assistants.
Yeah, the MSL is a little bit strange. It's for lack of a better term, it's almost like family. It's like cousins, But when you get a guy that has that many wins, it's very rare, in my opinion, that he would change. That's like Ken Graham's going to Barrington and Peterson coming here. I mean, it's not done. I mean, listen, I believe in Coach Osei. I think he's a good coach. I don't get behind the scenes. I don't know much about it. But anytime you can get that much seasoned on your coaching staff, you've got to take it. And I'm not particularly sure how Coach Brent Perlman came to us. I don't know if Prospect wanted to move in a different direction. I don't know why you would, but we're happy to have him, for sure.
He had a small stint at Fremd before linking back up with his former quarterback. Osei was quarterback at Prospect under Perlman's tenure.
Rough kick there. Let it go. Oh, you can't. It's a kick. I thought it was a punt.
And that was fallen on by Carter Bourget.
I almost think that was by design, because that thing was right in the middle of nowhere. One little hop, and Maine West could have pounced on it. Starting to cool off here at Elk Grove Stadium. The Grenadiers were right by that creek, and a certain time of day, man, it's just temperature drops. It's almost like you're near Lake Michigan.
And he'd been in band camp. I have a saying: I'd take 90 and cloudy over 80 and sunny any day of the week.
Yes, you would.
Here's a handoff. Elsner breaks one open, and last-ditch tackle by Ben Cooper.
He got caught from behind. The only reason he got caught behind is because the safety jumped up and made him make a move. If the safety's not there, nobody's catching him either. Great run.
He moves the chains. And Elsner again. He's got another big yard and falls down. at right near the line to gain, the 38-yard line.
Looked to me like Maine West had a little bit of a run blitz on that, and it did absolutely nothing. Offensive line stood tall. Grant's starting to take a little more time off the clock here.
Under 11 minutes now to play. Elsner with the ball and is taken down from behind.
Great
but
tackle.
He might have enough. It looks like they're spotting him a little short.
Great tackle by that Maine West.
It's going to be 3rd and inches. And no surprise that the Grens want to go quickly here.
I don't see them stopping. If they don't get it here, I got to believe it's 4-down territory. Well, I'm not sure about the shotgun on this, but
it's going to be a designed run. Janzik tries to scramble up the middle, and
it's
depends
going to be
on
on the
where they
spot.
stop it.
Yeah, they're calling 4th down.
They might, depending on where they spot it, they might bring the chains out to measure.
Looks to be about I'd say a full yard. A full yard.
Here's 4th down. I'd be very shocked if they run shotgun again. There's Janzik under center.
You got to get it to 11, right? You got to give it to Elsner. I'm going to have a timeout here by coach, he'll say. Nope. Yep.
I'll talk over it. With 9:45 left to go in the game, and the Grenadiers up big, 35-7.
Yeah, and back to your coaching staff. It's not listed here, but and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what coach is Brett Perlman on for? Is he defensive, offensive, just an assistant?
Well, he's listed as an assistant, and he has a big reputation of being a very good defensive guy. But when I talked to Coach Osei, when he was talking about his offensive staff, he mentioned Perlman. And then when I asked him about the defensive staff, he didn't mention Perlman. So he mentioned Mike Kamadula as his main guy on defense. So it sounds like they're using him more as an offensive guy, but I'm sure he's got an input on what the defense does as well.
Well, knowledge is knowledge, right?
Definitely.
All right, 9:45 left in the 4th. Grenadiers gave up that one long run, and after that, they have shut Maine West down.
There's a handoff.
I don't think he got it.
And the pile gets pushed forward. And
interesting.
A late flag comes in, but it looks like the Grens are going to have the yards to gain.
I'm kind of surprised that wasn't whistled dead when Elsner, basically got blocked into the wall, and that was it. The referees kind of swallowed their whistle there, in my opinion. They let that go a little longer, which helped us.
And that, for all intents and purposes, kills the game.
Yep. Let's not stop here, though.
Janzik back in shotgun. And it's a fake.
Wide open.
Up the middle, and that's caught. That is, it's going to be Garrett Ewan, first target today.
Last year we called his name out a lot on offense, and this is, I think, the first time other than kicking the ball. The extra points.
I think he had one target earlier in the first half, but since then it's been mainly Lucas Rogers.
Well, Garrett ran a great route there.
Nice throw and catch over the middle from Janzik to Ewan. Janzik.
Keeper by Mitch. Flag there. It's in the backfield, but it's over by where the corner and the receiver tangled up. I'd be interested to see what this is. Holding on Elk Grove. No need for that hold. They're 30 yards from the play. Probably just a little
emotions.
Yeah, emotion. I think you're absolutely right.
One thing I'd really like to see in high school football is the referees mic'd up. I think that's probably the number one thing that that would make this game a lot better.
You know, I'm with you, but it took baseball 170 years to finally mic up the home plate umpire. And with all the goofy rules in baseball, why they didn't do that sooner, I'll never know. But I'm with you 100%. Well, the fans have the right to know what's going on. Not everybody comes to football games and knows all the hand signals. It's not something we study.
Exactly. Janzik,
oh, double
fake.
pump.
That's a throw deep for Rogers, just out of reach. Little push, but no call.
About like half a step in front of Lucas there.
Looked like it was Anthony Sanchez on the defensive side of things, keeping Rogers from yet another big catch.
Second and 10. I'd actually like to see another pass.
Second and 10, here's Janzik. Dropping back to pass, under pressure. Throwing, and that's complete on the far sideline by Garrett Ewan.
Tough throw. Mitch threw off his it was a bad angle for him to throw, and it was right on the line. The only one that could have caught that ball was Lucas, and the only way he was going to catch it is heading out of bounds. It's a great play. Strong throw.
We're going to have a stoppage here. Adam Abobi is down out of bounds. But, yeah, to your point, that was a wonderful throw. And give credit to Garrett, too, because that was not an easy catch to make.
No. Throw was completely on a sprint run by Mitch.
Just a little over 8 minutes left to go in this contest.
Well, once I figure out this podcast thing, I'm going to send it out. You're gonna see the workings of a 57-year-old media influencer. I'm gonna get it to about 1 or 2 people.
I appreciate
I'll do the best I can.
Every listener is appreciated.
Oh, I'm sure you got some followers here at Elk Grove High School too, right?
Oh yeah, it was released on Thursday, and right as I was about to go to bed, I was checking my socials, and about like half of the offense, if not the entire offense, added me on Snapchat.
Good for you. Like you say, hey, you're part of the vibe, right?
Yeah. And I know most of these guys, if not all of them. As here's a keeper by Janzik, and that's going to be enough for Grenadier first down.
So all day, Mitch has been getting tackled from behind, which is just wonderful to see. You know. The offensive line is doing their job. He's not getting tackled from the front. He's not losing yardage. It's always positive gains here, except for maybe one where he took a knee on a bad snap. That's all I can remember.
And bottom of your screen, out of shot right now is Matthew Martirano, number 10 in the game for the first time, one-on-one. Might see him get a chance to catch a fade. And it's going to be a handoff. Elsner, he's in the end zone again for another Grenadier touchdown. Have a day, Jacob Elsner.
Great football game today for him. Martirano, is he a senior?
He is a junior, I believe.
Because I thought we called him last year, but it might have been his brother. I don't know.
Joe Martirano played soccer. He was a stout center back for boys soccer. But
all right, Garrett Union.
They didn't pay too much attention to him, and it's because they were going to hand it off to Elsner. Kick is good. 42 for the Grens, which beats their point total last year when they played Maine West.
Yeah, I think if I look back at that end of the first half, where the Grens kind of struggled a little bit. I mean, that's really trying. That's almost being super critical, because even then, they really didn't give up any points. They had one really bust-out play against them. Obviously, it was the 69-yard touchdown, but they've played a complete game here. Coaching staff should be very complimentary to their kids when they get into that locker room.
All smiles on the near sideline.
Well, going back to Brent Perlman, too, he's not only going to coach the kids, he has the capability of coaching coaches. Some of our coaches are younger, maybe this is their first stint, or maybe they're 5 years in. You get a guy that walks into the room like that, he could change the culture in the coaching staff, too, if there happens to be anything that maybe should have been changed, or if it could be changed, and I don't know any particulars, but, he can help this program quite a bit.
If you're just tuning in, the Grenadiers started right off the bat with what appeared to be a 90-yard kick return, maybe 85, but it set up the offense for their first drive of the day at the 5-yard line of the Warriors. They wound up punching it in with Jacob Elsner. And ever since then, it's been all Grens apart from one 69-yard rushing touchdown by Isaac Pittman.
Yeah, I believe we got it right? Elsner 3, Janzik 2, Lucas Rogers 1.
And this is Isaac Pittman, bounced out to the sideline on a late hit.
Yeah, you're going to get a flag there. I'd be shocked if you don't get a flag there.
Doesn't look like any yellow is flying.
That was 3 yards out of bounds. And if I'm Maine West Warriors coach, I'm going nuts.
Especially when it's on a guy like Pittman, who's so important to this Warriors team.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was right here in front of us.
Grenadiers definitely got lucky there.
Looks like we got your 21 here on cornerback, near side. Seeing some playing time. Lucas is still a safety. Elsner, I believe, still in linebacker. I think that's 11. Could be wrong there.
And here's a handoff to Pittman.
Going nowhere.
Which goes absolutely nowhere. Stuffed up the middle.
22 guys on the field, and 19 of them were in that pile.
And Lucas Rogers is checking out. And speaking of Lucas Rogers and the rest of the Grenadiers who play both ways, I asked Coach Osei about it. He said that generally they were going to try not to do that. And he said this year they have the lowest number of players playing both ways as they've had in a very long time. He said only 2 or 3 are most likely going to play both ways.
Chris Patel came in for Rogers at safety. Oh, wow, he could have cut that
That's
in.
a throw, and it is complete on the far sideline.
Well, Gabe, you'd made mention earlier last year that Elk Grove would kind of run out of petrol here in the second half, and I believe that was one of the main problems. You can do all the conditioning you want, but when you got that many kids last year playing both ways, you're going to burn out not only the second half, but the second half of the season. It's physically rough to do. So that's a good sign for Elk Grove, that they had the turnout and they got the players where we don't have to lean on that as much.
You look at a team like Maine East, who's on a 41-game losing streak, because there's a
Fumble.
bad snap, and Delaney has to fall on it. You look at a team like Maine East, who's on a 41-game losing streak, and we faced them last year in the first home football game of the season, wound up winning 42-0, and they have such a small squad that it's easy to see why they would get tired out after a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's offsides.
Ball's
or a false
played.
start, excuse me.
Blown dead, signal for a false start.
Yeah, number 3 was trying to get a couple yards. By the time the whistle blew, he was 4 yards in front of the ball. 6 minutes, Gabe. This has been a great game for not only the players, but the school.
And 6 minutes away from the Grenadiers winning the first game of the season 2 years in a row for the first time since the 2012 and 2013 seasons.
It's been a while.
Here's Delaney.
Stepping up. He's got all
out
day.
of a blitz. He's got room to run, and he's out of bounds past the 45-yard line up to the 48 is where they're going to mark him. That's a good job by Thomas Delaney. Another guy who can run.
Krish Patel out. 32 is in.
That's who we talked about earlier, Ko to Shia, who is making his debut in the sport of football. Here's Delaney, throw near side. That's caught by
In
Jason
bounds.
Hayden.
Oh, they call it out of bounds. All right, clock will stop. I'm getting nitpicky now. Now I want tackles to be in bounds.
Shia in on that tackle, and that is probably the toughest name to pronounce. Bless Ken Graham's heart, because I wouldn't want that job.
I think Ken just
trying to
says
say
it
his
so confidently that nobody would question if he had it wrong.
First down for Maine West.
Oh, what a tackle.
And Christopher Velasco gets a carry.
Just a lightning bolt.
And tackled in the backfield for a loss.
Yeah, big loss. That's got to be 5-6 yard loss. Well, 4 anyway. Great play.
Second down, Delaney drops back to throw, and it is in and out of the hands of
23, I think.
that would be Owen Davenport.
Yeah, 23. Boy, he broke hard. I think when he hit the ground on his back, it popped the ball up, but
Read it well.
That would have been
in
fun.
and out of the hands. Now, maybe you can talk to the higher ups of EGTV and convince them to do road games, because I feel like
I think Debbie, Scott, and Ross, and they're like, no way. It's such a hard day to put this together. They start probably around noon. But I will say in the past, we've done a couple Kona basketball games because it's local, you know. Yeah, I'd love to do every game too, Gabe, believe me, but it's a lot to ask.
a hold's going to bring, oh no, sorry, they decline it. A holding against the Warriors, and that's going to bring up 4th and long.
I'm surprised the clock's not running, honestly. I must have the point differential wrong. Maybe it's over 35. I'll have to ask around on that one. Either way here, when they figure this out, it's going to be 4th down, I believe.
They decide to accept the holding after all.
Yep, 3rd down now.
Now, the coaching staff, at least for the Grenadiers, are all wearing headsets. Are they mic'd up, especially on offense, with quarterback or just with each other?
No, I believe this has come such a long way, but I think they're in direct communication with the coaching staff that's up above us here in the booth.
That's thrown over the middle, complete
Yes.
to Ben Cooper.
You know, it's interesting. If you watch Coach Osei or maybe the offensive coordinator, if they're doing hand signals, they're not mic'd up. That's a question for Coach Osei next time you run into him in the hall. Because, you know what, I haven't seen many hand signals. Well, yeah, here we are. The defensive coordinator back here in the green and yellow, he's giving some hand signals. That's an interesting call. I know they have a lot more technology. Like if you look above your head, they've got a camera there in the on the press box, and I believe that feed would go out to Elk Grove, obviously, and then any other teams that would want it.
That's the huddle
That
camera.
hit the ground.
And Delaney
nice
hitting the
step away.
backfield, gets out of it.
Yeah, he had a little. Oh, he's still going. He had a little stutter step, and that was all he needed to get some daylight. That could have been another huge loss.
And that
Got a
was
Gren
fourth
down.
so that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Number 4, AJ Jawaya, a little slow to get up. Maybe a cramp of some sort.
Just a little over 3 minutes left in this ball game. And the result of formality.
It's nice to say that.
Especially when you're on the winning side of that.
Correct. Yeah, I think 4 will be just fine here. If you give him about 10 minutes. Well, it's off next week to Hoffman Estates, and then I believe we're back here for Niles, correct?
Niles West, and that is homecoming week. Week 3, really early on in the season this year.
Well, I'll tell you, if anybody is a resident or an alum or whatever, come on out. If you haven't been here in a while, the stadium's gorgeous. They've done a lot of changes. You know, the team looks like it heading in the right direction, and boy, it'd be nice to see them get backed up by our community. Not that they're not, but we could always use more.
Friends take over.
Oh, here's your guy.
That's a handoff to Daryl Hunt, who was promised reps at some point in the backfield.
I'd like to see about 5 more handoffs to him and let the whistle blow.
Pick up a 5 for the sophomore.
Yeah, you need depth at a couple of these positions. This is a good time to get these kids in some reps. See what you got. A little confusion there. They got him on the right side. We're going to wait for that back judge to start giving him the time signal that he's got 10 seconds left. There it is. Another high snap.
High snap. Fed to Hunt. Close to the line of gain.
Nice run.
I think he's just short.
So we're under 2 minutes here. Maybe 2 more plays. I thought the referees did a pretty nice job today, too. There wasn't a whole bunch of laundry on the field. They might have missed one of these here, that late hit out of bounds by Elk Grove, but all in all, it wasn't too sloppy of a game on either side.
Yep, definitely let a few things go, but it's easy to let things go when
nice
not all that stuff's called. Hunt stays on his feet and fights for the first down.
See, that's the one you see in the film room. That could have been a 2-yard loss, but he did not give in.
And he comes up limping a little bit. He moves the chains. And
got a timeout.
We're going to take a timeout to check on Hunt, who came up limping, looked like he had a little bit of ankle soreness. Give his team some water break with 1:22 to go.
Numbers are definitely getting better for Elk Grove. You still need, you need to see as many kids come out as possible. And it sounds to me like the last 2 years, the program has had an increase in interest for football. I hope Hunt's out there again. I want to see more carries. Be nice to have a 2-pronged approach to a running game.
And it looks like they're going to enter victory formation
Rightfully so.
Mitchell Janzik takes a knee, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a final score of Elk Grove 42, Maine West 7. Elk Grove came out firing, and Jacob Elsner, just as Dominic Belmonte did last year, tallied 3 scores on the ground. He had a big day.
Had a huge day. They had 3 of the main players score. I'd like to see a little bit, spreading it out a little bit more, but boy, beggars can't be choosers. We'll take a 42-7 victory any chance we can. All phases played well today.
Mitchell Janzik had 2 touchdowns on the ground and added 1 more in the air to Lucas Rogers right before halftime. And the Grens came out with the same intensity in the second half that they finished with in the first half. And after that, it was all said and done.
Yeah, good game. Very good game. Well, listen, Gabe, it's always fun. We're going to have to do it more often.
Definitely.
If we have to start petitioning of some sort to somebody somewhere, we might have to get on that. I'm not opposed.
Well, it was definitely a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure to share the mic with you, John. I hope to do it again soon. And thank you to all the staff at EGTV and everyone who made it possible for me to get out here tonight and work around schedule restrictions. It was a pleasure to commentate a hard-fought victory for the Grenadiers.
Yeah, definitely thanks to all those involved to get you here. And I mean it, we will try hard, but one thing I guarantee you, we will be together for a basketball game. So that was a heck of a lot of fun last year. So, Gabe, good to see you. I'll see you in the next broadcast. Have a good one.
You do the same. Have a good one. Take care. Good night, everyone.